What's good, YouTube? We are back again with another video, and this one's a special video, man, because I want to dig a little bit back into Michael Jordan's career. Not only showing you the jerseys, but showing you the sneakers. And I think this year in particular, this is the 1991-92 season. So this is the repeat of the first three-peat. This is probably the most underrated Michael Jordan season of all time. I say that to say his statistics were off the charts. The team accomplishments were off the charts. They were about 67 or 68 wins, not too far from 70. This was the first real close to 70 win team, at least from the Chicago Bulls, that we saw until the 95-96 season. This season, to me, flies under the radar because it's in between. It's the middle child between the first championship and the first three-peat in 1993. So it gets overlooked. It gets neglected. Same thing with the 97 season. 97 season, arguably even better for Michael Jordan, that is, than the 95-96 season. The only thing is he didn't win the MVP. He won MVP in 1992. A lot of people forget that. So he won in 88, 91, 92. Also, he just came off beating Magic Johnson, who was second in MVP voting in that year. So 1991, that finals, Magic Johnson was second in MVP voting. A lot of people tend to forget that. Now, of course, the Lakers weren't as good without Kareem, but they were still a very good team. They still beat really good teams. They still went to the finals. Magic Johnson was still that guy. Like I said, he's second in MVP voting in 1991. Mike plays them in the finals, beat them 4-1. Then we get to the 1992 season. Now, this, to me, is probably the best season of Michael Jordan's career. And a lot of people overlook it. So that I really want to kind of focus on this season in particular for that reason, right? And it's a phenomenal season, right? So we're going to have the whole entire season for jerseys to showcase. And then we're going to show you the sneakers as well. You probably see the sneakers right here. So let's start off with the jerseys, right? Now, Mitchell and Ness came out with the 1991-1992 season jersey, and you notice the black memorial band. And the black memorial band was for an assistant to Jerry Reinsdorf. Her name was Sherry Bordeaux. I believe that's her name. And she was an assistant for Jerry Reinsdorf for 17 years. She passed away from a routine surgery that ended up being obviously complicated. And she passed away from that. So they are pictures of MJ wearing jerseys without the memorial band. But for most of the year, and especially going into the playoffs, the second half of the year, you would see MJ rocking the memorial band on the jersey, and of course the whole Chicago Bulls. Now, this is all heat pressed. This is the last time we will see a heat pressed jersey for the Chicago Bulls. So again, a little bit of history there. Pretty dope. You do see the all red Jordan on the back, and we have the outline with the black and red. Beautiful jerseys, man. These are so nice. Some of my favorites. I was always it has to be a stitched jersey, but you do have a little bit of love for these type of jerseys in particular because that's how they wore them, right? What I love that Mitchell and Ness did with this jersey is they made the mesh holes really, really big. Now, they don't usually do this. And if you see the 98 Jordan jersey, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to do a video on all these jerseys differently. And this is how it was back then. Champion would have the license for the NBA back in the days during this time period. So this is how the mesh holes would typically be. So beautiful, beautiful jersey. One of my favorites. This is the white version, right? Beautiful. Love the memorial patch. And again, this is just one of those jerseys in 1992, 91, 92 season that MJ would rock. I think they did a great job in replicating the jersey. I'm going to show you a game-worn version of this jersey so you guys can see how good Mitchell and Ness did this jersey. I think they knocked it out the park. Now, I bought this jersey fairly recently, right? Same scenario, all heat pressed on memorial band. Beautiful jersey. And I wanted a size 48. Got this off eBay for about 170 bucks. Phenomenal price, of course. I was always looking for this jersey in particular. Glad to have it in the collection. There's a nice sheen to the numbers, which I like. It's not really matted, which is beautiful, right? I bought this in a size 48 on purpose. I don't have too many size 48s in the red away jersey, and it was just nice to have a different size. Fits a little different, so if I wanted to wear it for whatever reason differently, I can, right? So here we had the 1991-92 red version. You will see MJ rocking this. Again, we're going to get into all of these different styles of jerseys that he wore that year and the sneakers. So stay tuned, right? And then we have the All-Star Game. Now, this is not the 1992 All-Star Game jersey. I actually didn't plan on purchasing this jersey, which is the 1992. This is the 1991, by the way. The 1992 jersey, I didn't plan on purchasing it because it's so close to this. But there are little differences. I'm going to explain the differences right now. But this is the 1991 jersey that played, I believe, in Philly. He also wore the Jordan 6 black and infrared with these. So this is a totally different All-Star Game. It is the 1991 All-Star Game. The 1992 All-Star Game, super memorable. Magic Johnson was announced HIV, didn't play the season, but he was voted in for the All-Star Game. He played in the All-Star Game. Like, super, emotional and super dope. He won MVP. So, the differences between this one and the 1992 All-Star Game, right off the bat, is the ribbing. So, the ribbing is opposite. The blue ribbing is on the outer part of the arm, and then the red ribbing is on the inner part where it's close to the jersey mesh, right? So that's one difference. Then another difference is the NBA logo is actually down more because in the 1992 jersey, they do not have the stars, right? So no stars on the 1992 jersey. So a little bit more bells and whistles, I guess, on this jersey, which is really just the stars. But other than that, it's virtually the same jersey. This is basically the same version for the most part. So I'm showing you this jersey because there's a reason why, right? And then we get to where he finalized his greatness in the 1992 season. He cemented his dominance. And it wasn't necessarily during the World or the Olympic Games, but it was during the practices of the Olympic Games where he showed he was that guy. So Michael Jordan, again, just showing he's the alpha, he's the top dog in the NBA back in 1992. So this is the Olympic jersey. He cemented his repeat. He cemented Olympic championship. This is his second Olympic gold medal. So super dope, right? Now, this is the fun part for me. So the first half of the year. Now we're celebrating his first championship. He comes back 1991-92. He has a home game, right? So we're going to take this jersey and he wears the Carmine 6. So he's still wearing the Jordan 6, although he won the championship in the black and red Jordan 6. He brings out the Carmine. This is one of my favorite combinations. Like I said before, this is like a Bulls colorway to the T. Black, white, and red. No other color. He would wear this for the complete first half of the season, right? So that's something to note as well. So I believe if the season started, let's say November, he would wear this until the All-Star break. And exclusively, he would rock this on road and home games, right? So that's the Jordan 6 Carmine. Then we go back to the All-Star Game. And again, let's pretend this is the 1992 version of the jersey. He would bring out the Bordeaux 7. Not your typical Bulls colorway. This is the first time you will see a non-Bulls colorway rocked by MJ, which is super different. This one in the Aqua 8. And he would exclusively wear this for the All-Star Game in 1992 in Orlando with a jersey so similar to this. So that's why I'm kind of pairing it up. But yeah, Bordeaux 7, super dope. One of my favorite 7s of all time. I would say the Hair 7 is probably still my favorite, but this definitely has become my second favorite. So Bordeaux 7 right here. And then, as we put this jersey back, we would now go to regular season games, and he would wear these jerseys with the Hair 7. So exclusively going to the Hair 7, a Bulls colorway. This was advertised by Bugs Bunny, but this is a combination he would wear. Like, I'm going to show you pictures, of course. This is such a dope thing because this is actually what he rocked, right? So, Hair 7s, he would rock for the regular season, for the rest of the regular season in 1991-92, which I think was super dope. I mean, talking about classics, he rocked the Carmine 6, Bordeaux 7, Hair 7. So, beautiful, right? And then, for the playoffs, now, unfortunately, when they released this sneaker, it came out with these oval laces, which isn't the way it was supposed to be. So I decided to put flat laces on this on purpose because it kind of brings it back to how Mike wore it, and that was always important to me. And then we talk about one of the most iconic finals of all time. If you take a look at these final stats, when I tell you this is ridiculous, it wasn't as good as 1993, but maybe the second best finals performance of all time in Michael Jordan's career. He averaged about 35 a game. Just godlike numbers, right? But first game in which they played, he had 6 threes in the first half. You guys all know the Shrug game. This is the Shrug jersey, right? And he would wear this Jordan 7, black and red in the playoffs. Come on, man. I'm going to tell you a little bit more, actually, about the performances that he had. We all know the game 1 performances, 35 points in one half in the finals, right? 6 3-pointers. But I think the most important game that nobody talks about is the series was tied 2-2. And in game 5 on the road in Portland, which was not an easy place to play at, he had 46 points on the road. I found this on the web. He had 46 points on the road to go up 3-2 back to Chicago for game 6 and game 7, right? So a lot of people don't really mention the fact that he had such a dominant performance in game 5, but that game 5 gave him really the 3-2 lead that they needed for game 6. So, like I said before, in 1991, he faced Magic Johnson, second MVP voting. In 1992, he faced Clyde Drexler, who was by far the second best shooting guard at that time, who was also the second MVP voting player for that year, right? So he faced the second best MVP voting players back to back to back. He actually faced the MVP in 1993, but we'll get into that in another video. He's not going against lames. He's going against the best of the best. A lot of people discredit him for that, but I think it's foolery, right? You guys take a look at game 5, how significant that game was. He was wearing these, right? So, playoffs are cemented, right? We're going to go on to the next stage of 1992, and that is the Olympic Games. And again, right, we have the beautiful Olympic 7s. The first time you would see a number 9 on, or anything other than a 23, I should say, on a Jordan sneaker. We would see a 45 eventually, but we don't fuck with the 45s. We fuck with the 23s, and of course the 9 on the Olympic colorway. I mean, come on, man. Come on. This is 1992. This is cementing, to me, probably the greatest year in basketball history. LeBron's done something similar, but nothing beats the first time that a player did it. So, to me, this is the greatest. This is, if not one of the greatest seasons in Michael Jordan's history. it may be the best. And a lot of people overlook it because, again, it's in the middle of that first three-peat. Nobody really looks at that year. But this is, to me, one of the best Michael Jordan years in his career, right? So there we have it. We have an MVP. We have Finals MVP. We have Olympic MVP. The only thing he didn't get is an All-Star MVP, but he got everything else. And to me, it's just, a beautiful thing to see what Mike did during this time period. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun to talk about in this 1991-92 season. This is dope. This is dope to me. This is why we do it. This is why I do it. Bringing you a little bit of more Michael Jordan jerseys and sneakers and history. And on that note, we out. Peace.